So why is it so hard to find anybody with much positive to say about YAG laser vitrolysis? In today's video, we'll be looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly of the procedure, and perhaps that might shed some light on why this is. Hey everybody, thank you for watching. I'm optometrist Martin Aguzzi, and this channel is all about helping you to see better, to see more comfortably, and also to be less anxious about your eyes. So if that sounds interesting, then we'd love to get your subscription on the channel. Hit that notification bell as well, and sharing this video also helps the channel out. So I feel like the predominant sentiment in the eye floater community is that YAG laser vitrolysis doesn't work very well. Now this is probably true also amongst the majority of eye care professionals such as optometrists and ophthalmologists. It's also probably the reason why you won't get this procedure covered by medical health insurance or even the National Health Service here in the United Kingdom. So is it really that bad, or are we just all overreacting? Well, there's no doubt that there are many people who've had vitrolysis and are very happy, and there are surgeons that swear by the results of it as well. But in this video, we're going to go through some of the good, the bad, and the ugly of the procedure as well. So let's get straight into that right now. I think the first great thing that is very reassuring is the fact that the YAG laser is a very common and established laser that has been used for many years now for a whole range of different procedures. The most common use and application in the eye care world really is for treating the post-operative situation that may result from cataract operations. And this is the treatment of thickening of the lens capsule, which is left behind after somebody has a cataract removed. And it doesn't happen in every case of cataract removal, but in some cases we get this thickening and this protein buildup in the capsule that is left behind, and this can make it feel like a cataract is coming back. Now the YAG laser is then used in a process called YAG laser capsulotomy to remove this frosting, if you like, this frosting, this buildup of this protein, and it does an excellent job in removing that very quickly and has very excellent success rates as well. Now one of the great things about the YAG laser is that it's not a laser that just indiscriminately destroys everything in its path, but it's a laser that comes to a focal point, and at that point is where the whole energy of the laser is focused at. That means then we can focus it at specific points within the vitreous in the case of treating floaters. And this is great because it means that this laser can be used with great precision and accuracy. Now the other great thing about YAG laser vitrolysis is the fact that it's a non-invasive procedure that doesn't require general anesthetic. It's usually done with an anesthetic eye drop, and then you will have a special contact lens placed on your eye, which allows the surgeon to be able to focus at the floaters in the eye as well, and also stops you from blinking at the same time. Now the great thing about this procedure is that it's a great alternative to invasive procedures like a vitrectomy. Now another great point about YAG laser vitrolysis is the fact that it's able to vaporize your floaters, and that means it turns them into a gas vapor within the eyeball. And if this is done efficiently, then it removes the worry about any stray floaters that are left behind. Now coming off the back of the good points, the first bad point that I want to mention is the fact that it's not suitable for all kinds of floaters. It's particularly good for floaters that are not too thick, so ones that are relatively flat and not too deep, and it's also good for floaters that are located more in the center of the eye, center of the vitreous, rather than ones that are close to the lens or further back towards the retina. Now the ones behind the retina are particularly of concern because the closer you get to the retina, the more problematic it may be and more risky it may be of causing damage to the retina. Now the other key worry about floaters that are this far back in the retina is that if the laser misses any fragments and these aren't vaporized, then these floaters, even if they are very small, will cast a lot more noticeable shadow onto the retina, and they can become quite annoying after the procedure. Now with floaters that are larger and more dense and thicker, then these floaters tend to be more problematic because the laser, while it attempts to vaporize a particular point on the floater, it can start to kind of break up the floater and cause lots of fragments, and it can make the job of the laser operator more difficult because you've got a lot more fragments to now try and pinpoint and get rid of, and it's very easy to then miss some and leave leave lots of small fragments in the eye, and this can be more annoying to the person than potentially what they had in the first place. And that is the key bad thing that I can think of as far as YAG laser vitrolysis goes. So let's move on to what the ugly factor is. Now, the ugly of YAG laser vitrolysis seems to really be the fact that in a small number of cases there is the risk of a secondary glaucoma developing, and it seems to be the case that this risk arises when the operator attempts to treat a thick floater, and this floater results in lots of fragmentation within the eye, and over time these floaters appear to work their way into the front chamber in the eye that we call the anterior chamber, and this is the area where the aqueous humor in the eye circulates and drains out. So like a blocked drain, these fragments then start to clog up the drainage, leading to an increase in pressure within the eyeball. There is then the risk of this increased pressure leading to damage at the retinal level, and this is what we call glaucoma. So that's a particularly nasty concern, and while glaucoma spotted early can be treated, yeah, this is a complication you really don't want to get. Now, I'm not going to go into why and how these fragments can work their way into the anterior chamber, but it seems to be a consequence of this fragmentation process that happens with unvaporized bits of the floater. Now, you'll notice that there are more good points than there are bad and ugly points, and I think the reason that YAG laser vitrolysis has received such a bad press and bad rap is really because of the fact that it is a procedure that, while it might seem straightforward, requires quite a lot of technical know-how and experience in order to first of all know what type of floaters can be treated successfully, and also how to manage the different kind of issues that might arise. Now, having experience is critical even to helping a surgeon know which type of patients and which type of floaters they should not be treating. So probably some of the problems come when they treat and attempt to treat floaters that really are not likely to yield successful outcomes. Now, at the end of the day, YAG laser vitrolysis may well yield successful results for the right individuals and people who have, you know, floaters that are well suited to the procedure. But it may well be that for the majority of individuals with floaters, YAG laser vitrolysis isn't a viable option. Now, I want to give credit to the Floater Doctor YouTube channel for some of the information and the clips used in this video. If you haven't checked that channel out, I suggest that you do so, just to get an insight into, you know, what is involved in the treatment of floaters with YAG laser vitrolysis and other methods as well. He seems to be this kind of rare case of an ophthalmologist who specializes just in treating floaters. Now, I'm not sure how active he is on the channel at the moment, but there are certainly a lot of great videos there worth checking out on floater treatment. And let me know your thoughts on YAG laser vitrolysis. If you've had the procedure yourself, let us all know how you've got on and whether you'd recommend it. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell as well, and also sharing this video really helps us out, and I look forward to catching you guys in the next video. Take care.